So we continue our knowledge sharing mission through a series of interviews with marketing leaders from all over the world. And we are thrilled to have Evelyn with us today. Welcome, Evelyn.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to CMO Chats. My name is Evelyn Swaim. I'm the VP of Global Growth Marketing here at Seismic.
So, Evelyn, tell us a little bit more about you, your role, and Seismic.
Sure. As mentioned, I'm the VP of Global Growth Marketing here at Seismic. We're the leader of AI-powered revenue enablement. In my role, I oversee demand gen, account-based marketing, digital teams, our web marketing teams, our content team, our partner and field marketing team. So my team here reimagines how modern marketing contributes to business performance. That means we build pipeline and we deliver programs that drive measurable growth. And one of the things I have to say that I'm really proud of is how we've transformed our growth engine. We've driven 6 profitable quarters, for instance, in a row. We've significantly improved our ROMI, our return on market investment, and achieved record engagement with both net new accounts as well as existing customers. But beyond the metrics, I think my role here, what I see as my role, is building that engine that's scalable, accountable, and human, that delivers pipeline, strengthens partnerships, and unlocks impact.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the marketing aspect. What is currently your main marketing focus?
So there's 2 big areas, I think, right? So I lead growth marketing. So obviously the first one always is a focus here is scaling our demand engine. Now we're doing that a lot with AI today. So how are we personalizing everything that we do with AI? How are we using predictive insights and intent data and creating campaigns that are agile so we can meet the buyer where they are? The second thing I would say is to elevate our brand, right? Because elevating your brand, as you know, fuels the demand engine, and that helps us to build trust with our buyers and our customers, especially right now as we've moved from product-centric business to more of a platform. It's really important for us to start to build trust with the tech buyers. Let's think CIOs, CDOs, COOs, because they're really starting to influence the deals that our sellers have. So we've done the work to modernize our go-to-market. Now we're focused on just showing up with just a clear, differentiated voice.
Thank you. You've touched upon this a little bit, but tell me how you define success in marketing.
So I think, it's really important that we're not looking at marketing as just this engine that brings top of funnel, right? Or leads. Leads is not even in our vocabulary here at Seismic. To me, marketing success is all about the success of the business. So what does that mean? Well, did we deliver the pipeline? And is that pipeline quality that it can convert, right? And move through the funnel quickly to convert to revenue. So how has our velocity improved? How many new logos did we win? New logos is going to be important to expand and get our wallet share where it needs to be, our market share. How about our customers? Did we retain our customers? Did we grow our customers? Did we get that unlock? So that's really important. But it also means is our brand. Did we grow our brand affinity? Did we grow our visibility into the marketplace? And so that's really important. So to me, success is just when we're supporting the business, is actually also to accelerate the business and the growth of the business.
So we've talked about success. What are the challenges that marketers are facing today?
Wow. Well, I mean, there's so many, I think, right? I think marketers today are having to do a lot of things. We've heard the terms before, do more with less, right? But I think what's really important here is that we're balancing speed with substance, right? Because there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to move fast. There's a lot of pressure to produce more content, to adopt AI. That's all real. That pressure is real. But great marketing still has to start with the customer, right? The customer insight, the differentiated in our positioning, and tight sales alignment. So I think the best teams I've seen are ruthlessly focused, not only on the right accounts, but the right signals within those accounts and those buyers, and then the right narrative. They're going to use AI to amplify and not replace, right, the strategic thinking that they have. I say this, I did a talk recently at Pavilion and Inbound where I talked about AI being more amplified intelligence, right? It's not here to replace us, but here to amplify us and help us. So again, I think the real challenge for marketing today is staying focus on what moves the needle while making room for creativity, experimentation, and again, long-term brand building.
Thank you. That was great. Let's go back to successes. So, what would you say is the most successful event or engagement in general that you've had at Seismic recently?
If I think most recently, so September, this past September, we held our 10th in-person customer conference called Shift. It was the largest one ever. And what's interesting is 10 years ago, we only had 22 people in the room. This year, we had 1,200 people in the room.
Wow, that's incredible.
And what was even amazing is that we had representation for every room in the house. You know, our typical audience has been just enablement practitioner. So now we have like our revenue leaders, CROs are in the room, our marketing leaders, CMOs are in the room, right? Our rev ops teams are there. So everyone that's really kind of helping to drive the transformation within the business, and how is enablement helping to do that? So that was really exciting, right? The theme was Supercharge Your Future at Shift. So we really celebrated customer impact. We brought our customers up. We brought them to talk about the things that they've done. We talked a lot about product innovation, as well as the transformation that's happening within the industry, right? The results I mentioned were record-breaking attendance. We saw 3 times the value of our pipeline get influenced as a result of that event. And we really received the best feedback, like the highest score in terms of NPS, which is great. I think what made that work is because we made sure that event was customer centered. We brought the voices of the customer to the forefront. So it wasn't a Seismic, it wasn't us talking about us. It was our customers talking about their problems, their challenges, right? So there was a lot of learning that was imparted. Obviously, there was a lot of brand building as well. One other thing that happened there, which I really, really felt great about. Every year we do this. We pick a charitable organization and we really rally our whole community, our Shift community behind the organization. This year, it was OFR, Operation First Response, and we raised over $13,000 within like
Wow.
an hour, 2 hours, right? We brought the founder up, Peggy Baker. So this is really like for the veterans and first responders, right? That work day to day to save lives, and how are we helping supporting them. So it really reminded me at that moment that marketing, yes, we move the business, but we can also move the hearts of people to do good.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And what a great initiative. I don't think I've heard this before. I know a lot of big companies have kind of their flagship events, but not all of them have them tied to a charitable organization. So that's absolutely great. Well done. When it comes to events, are you focused on these larger scale events, or are you also doing smaller scale, more intimate events? And which one have you seen work best?
Yeah, we definitely, I mean, obviously that's our flagship event. That's, we call it our Super Bowl, but we follow that with city tours. So we go to 3 different cities as well. And then we do a lot of like small intimate, because our strategy here is account based, right? So how are we bringing a cohort of accounts together? So we then bring experiences to them. We might hold a dinner, a round table. In fact, when we were at Shift, we had a small breakout for executives. So think CMO, CRO, CIOs, CEOs, even founders. We had 33 executives in that room, right? So it was an event within an event. And that was extremely successful as well. But yes, we do smaller, can be, 10 or 12 people, to our city tours. Some might have 300 people. And then of course, Shift that has about 1,200 people.
What are the biggest challenges that you're facing when holding events?
I think it's always people's time are scarce, right? So the biggest challenge will always be, how do we get them to invest their time with us? Now, you do that only by crafting an agenda and conversations, I think, that is relevant to the people that you're inviting, right? Something that they're going to care about because it's something that they're facing today. And also curating the people in the room that are like them, that are like-minded. So I would say the biggest challenge would always be the time. But if you are intentional and smart about the way that you curate the people in the room and then craft the agenda and the topics of conversations, then people are going to give their time to you. We found that here.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always about getting the right people in the room and making
Oh,
sure they're able to attend. That's where it's at. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. What piece of advice would you give to someone who's now starting in marketing or is wanting to start working in marketing?
I would say yes to the hard stuff, right? Run towards growth. Listen, the best marketers I know didn't get there by staying in their lane, right? You can't just say this is what I was hired to do, this is all I'm going to do. No, right? Go beyond that. Think about what needs to happen across the business, who you need to work. Can you sign up for a project, even though it might stretch you, right? So those marketers just really jumped into an unfamiliar territory. The other thing that I would say is learn your business, know the numbers, right? Get fluent in data, get fluent in the financials. Like that business acumen is going to be real important. Because great marketers, it's not all about the headlines or the copy that you write. It's about the outcomes and the results that you deliver, right? And finally, I will just say, be curious, but also be kind and build people up. Because if you're trying to be a leader, it's only that leader that build people up, that put people first, that people will follow.
I 100% agree. If you don't have your team behind you, you have nothing. You're alone. All right. Now, when it comes to marketing executives and marketing leaders today, what do you think are the biggest opportunities that are available compared to maybe in the past?
I think I would say owning the entire customer life cycle, right? From first touch all the way to advocacy and retention. So, I think there's a lot of tools that's in front of us right now that has given us the ability to do a lot more. So think AI, right? AIs have done wonders for us. Digital data, right? Really help put marketing, I think, at the center, right? We're the growth engine today. We can now influence the business, not just awareness, but also, again, from that customer journey, we could influence because we have the insights, we have the data, we understand what's happening to that customer, we know where they are in their journey, right? If we're using all of that right, then we can influence where they are in terms of adopting and using the products, in terms of keeping them happy and delighting them, right? And then helping to grow, again, the wallet share within them. So that then means like CMO, right, will really have that seat at the revenue table. We're not going to be viewed again as just the organization that brings top of the funnel, right? That we will have the seat to really drive the strategy for the business and not just be the kind of order takers. We're driving the strategy for the business, right? Because today it's important to not only obviously grow net new, but customer churn is going to be so critical to the growth of the business. You want to reduce churn, you want to grow your customers, right? And I think as a CMO today, as marketing leaders today, we have that opportunity again to own the full customer life cycle.
For sure. So obviously we're coming to the end of the year. We're well into Q4. What would you say was your biggest marketing win of 2025? And what will be your main focus for 2026?
Okay. Boy, a lot of reflection. 2025 has been a breakthrough year for us right here at Seismic. So we launched a new website. We did that my teams did that in 7 months, right? Replatform, new design, fans personalization, really treat that as not only our digital front door, but as our primary lead engine. As I mentioned, we activated our largest shift ever. So that was, a highlight of the year. We also hit aggressive pipeline goals. So we had cut our budget by 10 to 12%. We reduced heads of people. We weren't able to add more, right? But even with that, we were able to deliver 30% more to the business, right? And that pipeline, that quality of the pipeline was so strong that we helped the business close that within our first half. I think we were, 35% year-on-year growth, right? In terms of bookings and revenue. So that's something that, I feel like we can really be proud of as an organization. We scaled right, our engine with purpose, and just really, really proud of the team, my teams, and the wider marketing organization for the impact that we've made. Now, so if I look into 2026, so in 2025, as I mentioned already, we kind of changed our narrative to be this product centered more to a platform, right? As we come into 2026, now that we've scaled our demand engine, how do we fuel that, accelerate that even more? Right? The brand is going to be critical for that. We have to elevate our brand. The brand is really going to put the power behind the engine now, right? That just really means as we move, we're also expanding our audience in 2026. Again, because this platform, we have to start thinking about the tech buyer, the CIO, the CTO, the COO. So we really have to do a lot more investment in our brand. And I don't mean a brand refresh. Our brand looks great, right? But this is more about our story. What are we saying, our narrative, our story to the market, right? How are we driving and building trust to those new buyers, right? So that we can build both affinity and demand. Yeah, I would say brand is going to be the critical thing that we're going to focus on in 2026. And as I mentioned already, that customer-centric growth is the other focus for us.
Perfect. Thank you. We've come to our last question, and it is my very personal favorite question. If you were to describe the role of a CMO or marketing leader in one word, what would that word be and why?
Wow. I feel like there's so many words, right? And we could say transformation, we could say change agent, but I would say right now, the word that I would think about is translator, right? Because that CMO, right? Us as CMO and marketing leaders, we really sit at the intersection of strategy, of customer, of our sales teams and our product teams. So we have to translate any insight that we have into action. We have to translate the vision that we have for the business into velocity, and we have to translate the data into decisions. So when we do that right, I believe that marketing then becomes that connective tissue across the whole business, and we can turn that complexity into clarity and translate all of that to drive growth that's durable and lasts.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our interview. This was one of my absolute favorites.